What? Because I've got water everywhere. What's going on, everybody? So I'm putting together a beat tape called Then and Now. It's gonna be stuff from like down here from like 2019, 2020, and then more recent stuff in the past year or two. And I had like an idea to do like 20 beats, you know, one from then, one from now, one from then, one from now. But that got me thinking about a video idea and a topic I don't know that some producers think about very often. Just because you have an old beat that you uploaded years ago that's, you know, gets no plays or nobody knows about, doesn't mean you can't reuse it, re-upload it, remix it, because as long as you've still got like a sound product at its core, there's no point in not reintroducing people to your old stuff. I've heard some stories of producers talking about, I made this beat X years before it became a big song or stuff like that. And you never know, you know, I might have a beat down here from 2019, 2020 that could be a #1 next year. So for this video, I want to take you all through a quick little journey of doing some like remixing, restructuring some of these beats, maybe even changing up sounds completely, who knows? Yeah, okay, I thought I redid this beat. I reworked this beat for a short I posted a little while back about it being the first beat I ever sold. You know, that's just what the funny thing is about, you know, that's what one of the funniest things about this beat is. You know, one of the funniest things about this beat is that it's very, like, kind of simple. And like I said, I guess you could argue it's maybe not a good beat. I don't know. But I think where it's just so simple, that's like what made it such a good beat. And like, if I go and compare that here to the original, we can hear how much harder my drums are hitting and whatnot, but there's still something to me, you know, because I made this 5 years ago now, you know, there's still something that like I like about it sounding the way that the original sounded. Yeah, those drums are not hitting. So yeah, we can mark this one off the list. I completely forgot that I went and redid this. I guess I need to go re-upload it. Alright, so let's check this one out. I know I was definitely going for that Ant Chamberlain sound at that time, since that was one of the biggest producers out there popping off on social media and the internet and everything. Yeah, this is around Martin Luther King. I do not remember it being called that at all. How do I not remember that? I remember the structure here of the project because I used to always have my tag on blue and then a melody on red, but Martin Luther King Drive. Yeah, let's just check it out and maybe simplify some things. I'm gonna save it as a new project and we'll go from there. I love those Beethoven alls too. And the guitar wah. I used to use the guitar wah to everything. Yeah, the mix wasn't terrible in this. I remember this project because of this, but I don't really remember making this. Some of them I do remember making. But one thing I really like to do was to do like my own lead piano work. And that way, you know, it was still adding to it, but also at that time, I just like doing a lot of lead pianos, I guess. That's crazy. I didn't even have it come in on here. arrangement used to be a little funny too. I would do, you know, like intro and then it hit for 16 bars. Which for this style of beat, I guess you would consider this a verse. That's the only kind of weird thing is going between these different styles of beats. A lot of these kind of pain beats, you go into a verse first. I guess I consider this my hook and then this the verse because I did drop it out here. I guess my biggest thing I would do here would be just get my drums hitting a little harder. So go ahead and clip them a little bit more going into the clipper. So if we take the clipper off here, we're going +3. Let's definitely shape this kick a little harder. You gotta be careful with this kick. It doesn't take being clipped. You have to like clip it a very particular way. Honestly, I want to try this. Let me just like send a parallel of it just to see if we can get it hitting a little harder. I'm gonna set up a fruity send here and make sure it's sending the full volume. That's like as much as I need right there. I might clip this one just a little harder just to take the top off of it. We're gonna have to get rid of some of these Beethoven-ahs. We were going a little crazy with them. Oh, found our riser. He's going 25. All right, let's work on our kick pattern here. I think I just had to take out one note really, and I'm gonna take out this last one on this pattern here. Okay, it kind of does need that double hit. Now we've got this straight out. Let's listen to our 808. I might go ahead and sidechain it. Let me select the correct thing. That way we're hitting just a little bit better. I have not used Sound Godizer on an 808 in forever, dude. It doesn't really sound bad either. I usually do the Pultec trick on Spins 808s. You can hear it adds a little more super low end. Then I'll kind of balance the volume out here. So I just want to make sure we're not getting any, like, I call them phantom peaks. It's whenever, like in an 808, you've got them hitting so fast, the transients kind of overlap and you get this like really sharp spike. You can't hear it, but when it comes to your clipper and everything on the mix bus or your master chain, it kind of ends up grabbing a pointless peak. So if we can take care of it here, you know, so we don't have to deal with it there, I'm all for it. See that right there? That's exactly what I'm talking about up here on the super high stuff. And even though we have like cut self on and this right here, it still does it. I think it's just where it's so fast. That's just what you run into with it. I don't want to lose too much essence of this beat, in my opinion. I used to always have my open hat pan to the right and the main hi-hat a little to the left. So I could completely correct that, but I think I want to leave it. think I rearranged it a little bit better. I'm going to play around with the arrangement, but I definitely like this one a lot better than where it was. If you've enjoyed watching this, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It'll help me out a whole lot and let YouTube know others need to check out this video as well. Also, feel free to follow me on all of my socials down below in the description, as well as join the Seige stands. That growth speed was my favorite part of this beat, to be honest. Between that and then the halftime section over here. So one of the biggest issues I had when I was mixing this for my boy Carlos's song is that the melody just wasn't as loud as it should have been. It's also kind of dull, you know, it's not very bright. And I ended up having to do quite a bit of high-end boosting for the mix. So let's see what I can do to make it sound better before I repost it. I don't know, maybe it's a little too bright now, but I think this originally just needed that lift on it, you know what I mean? Like, it was just a little too dull, and like the melody was a lot lower, and I raised it up quite a bit. Maybe I should lower it back down just a pinch. Drums are still hitting hard. I'm happy with it. All right, well, since I didn't know we didn't have audio for all of that, let's do one more. I didn't show doing much on the masters here. All I do for my beats pretty much is just throw on a soft clipper and then throw on ozone elements just to do the auto EQ and the limiter pretty much for the limiter for my tag versions. But other than that, I just kind of let everything rock the way it is. This one's hitting all right, but there's just some miscellaneous mix stuff that I feel like we could work on, make it sound just a little bit better. Okay, this one was a little weird because I had a stereo 808. I kind of wanted to split this one and do a weird, like, you know, stereo on the higher frequencies for the 808 and keep all the low stuff where it needed to be. I think the split process did a little weird because Wider used to have this thing, and it might still have it, where it kind of pans to the right for some reason. We've got a little bit of popping from this 808. Let's throw a standard clip on it to take care of that. Oh, we got a lot of popping. So I guess let's throw this on this one here. So now the kick won't be fighting all of that either. I mean, that's pretty much the whole beat. I might go ahead and throw some OTT on this lead while we're here. Try to get it just a little more consistent. I'm pretty happy with that. I think it sounds good, and I'd feel a lot better about re-uploading how it sounds now versus where it did. Thank you all for watching. If you've enjoyed, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Be sure to check out all of the links down below. Also, while you're here, check out one of these next videos on the end screen. Thank you all for watching. My name is CJ, aka Siege. Have a good whatever time of day you're watching this, and God bless.